Hello, Romanian enthusiasts! Welcome to another episode of Season 4, where we talk about adjectives and adverbs. In this episode, we will cover the comparatives and the superlatives of adjectives, or how to use more and the most correctly in Romanian. There might be some leftover confusion from the previous episode on adjective and adverbs that, trust me, will be clarified in this one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you can think of bigger and more beautiful in English and consider them both in Romanian as using more. So you will get in practice something like more big and more beautiful, which is not the worst, is it? Also, there will be exercises towards the end of this video for which you will have the solution on Discord. Also on Discord, we will launch a discussion tomorrow on the Only Romanian channel. Alright guys, so comparatives and superlatives, more and the most. This topic is really not going to take a lot of time to explain. It's, in my opinion, a fairly straightforward one until you get to nouns. Because with nouns, you have to get an agreement between the adjective and the noun. We're going to talk about, for both comparatives and superlatives, how that matters or doesn't. And a couple more things, including what they are, examples, and towards the end, we'll give some exercises, as I said. So, without any further ado, let's go into the three things. Gonna talk about comparatives, what they are, comparison with English, agreement with nouns. So, if we're gonna just ignore the other two for a second, what they are, basically the more from English, right? But we're gonna talk about Romanian right now. So, what they are in Romanian, when you say, for example, let's give an example sentence. Elena este mai înaltă decât Mihai. So this will translate to Elena is taller than Mihai. And let's have a look at it, right? In English, you say Elena is taller than Mihai. We will cover more on this on the point number 2. But let's look here. Elena este mai înaltă decât Mihai. You're saying tall, right? And you're also saying mai. In English, you're saying only one word. I'm going to try to speak as least as possible 2 and 1 at the same time because they're kind of covered under the same umbrella. But I want to specify the details on the part number 2. So, Elena este mai înaltă decât Mihai. You have an adjective, right, here. And you have this mai, which describes the comparison. This is what the comparative is. It describes a comparison. So, you're comparing Elena, or the height of Elena, with Mihai's. So, to say that in Romanian, you have the adjective and this mai, which is a comparison word, let's call it. And also, what you have is this decât, which in Romanian, you might see it every now and then. You have decât, and you also have ca, which are sometimes used, the same. You can have Elena este mai înaltă ca Mihai. The only problem with ca is, depending on the word, you might get cacophony. You'll get ca or ca. You'll get ca, stuff like that, which are not really allowed in Romanian because it just sounds bad. So most of the times you'll see the decât, right? Other than that, looking at this example, you have mai înaltă, but you also can compare. This is, by the way, this is when something is more, right? It's taller. But you can also have the opposite, which is less. And taking the same example, you would have Mihai este mai scund decât Elena. Mihai is shorter than Elena. Oops. which is again very straightforward, right? You have this. Let's move this a bit up. You have the adjectives kund. You have the comparison my, and you have the could. However, this can be said in a very different way using less. You want to say Mihai is less tall than Elena. To do that, you say Mihai este mai puțin înalt decât Elena. So instead of saying he's shorter, you say Mihai is less tall than Elena. For in this instance, let's try to make this a bit prettier, I guess. Something like that, maybe. And in this instance, you get mai puțin, which is literally less. You have the adjective here, înalt, and you have the word that describes with who, with what you compare, right? Than. In English, the could is like this, yeah, and this. They are just than. Mihai is less tall than Elena. So this is when something is more or something is less. But what if something is the same? Then you would use la fel de. So Mihai este la fel de înalt ca. Most of the times here you will see ca Elena. Decât doesn't really make sense here because decât, it has this idea, this logic of something is not on the balance. Like those two things, the thing on the left, the thing on the right, those two things are not on the balance. Ca can mean they are equal. So Mihai is as tall as Elena. So la fel de. Let's make the same drawings, yeah? So it's 100% clear. Mihai este la fel de înalt. Înalt obviously is tall, is the adjective that we're talking about. And then we have this first as, which is la fel de. Careful, one word in English, 3 words in Romanian, and ca, which is this as. Let me change a bit the colors maybe. So let's do it like this. So la fel de as, and ca is the second as. You need them. You need them both to make this equality. This in Romanian is called egalitate, equality, right? They are the same. They are the same on the left and on the right. Good, great stuff. And now we can move to part number 2, where we talk about the comparison with English. Why do I need to make this comparison with English? Because in the intro I also mentioned this. There might be some leftover confusion from the first episode of the season, which, by the way, you can find, I think, on the other side of the screen, right there. And that means, for example, that taller, as we saw it so far, and important, in English, this comparison will be a bit different. So taller and actually not important, here it should be more important, right? You're comparing, I don't know, an item or something that is more important than the other. In English, you use taller, so with this er. In English also, you can have this more. English depends on if the adjective is short or long. Romanian doesn't. So you will end up in Romanian with things like mai înalt, as we saw it as we've seen it above, and mai important. It's a very, very straightforward thing, but it can be misunderstood or overlooked. So be careful with this. Taller than. Decât, the word decât stays the same, is the same as than, but taller, more important, short and long adjectives. Yeah, I'm gonna make, so this is for short adjectives and this is for long. In English. In Romanian, they don't matter. You see, you have the same mai. And finally, to the best and maybe most confusing point here, agreement with nouns. This might be the most difficult. However, with comparatives, it's no biggie. Absolutely no biggie, because when you compare, you don't need to change anything depending on the agreement with nouns. So here I'm just going to say no agreement, no special agreement. I cannot write today, I swear to God, with nouns. What I mean by no special agreement with noun is actually this. If, for example, up here we saw that when we talk about Elena, este mai înaltă, we use the feminine form, and Mihai uses înalt because is a guy, and it will change obviously if it's plural to înalți and înalte, plural masculine, plural feminine. The mai will not depend on that gender or anything else for that matter. So no special agreement with noun. The comparatives are quite straightforward. The complicated part comes with superlatives. Now, a few examples here that I want to give. So, liniștit means quiet, and in comparative, that would become mai liniștit. And also, if we're talking about a feminine noun, let's make this bigger, it would be mai liniștită, mai liniștiți for plural masculine, and mai liniștite for plural feminine. As you can see, as I just mentioned, there's no special agreement with noun. For the comparative, nothing else than the usual adjective changing. Liniștit, liniștită, liniștiți, liniștite, the mai stays the same. If you put puțin here, they will stay the same. It will be puțin across the board. If you put la fel, same situation, it will be la fel de liniștit ca, la fel de liniștită ca, la fel de liniștiți ca. So nothing really crazy with the comparative. So even if those adjectives have less than 4 forms, for example, this one has 4, this one has 3, this one has 2, and this one has only 1. Yeah. So this one has only 3, and it will become mai puțin grijuliu. Careful, caring, right? That's the meaning. You have it in the bracket. Mai puțin grijulie. Mai puțin grijuli. Grijuli will be the same for plural. So that's it. And then rece has only 2. Let's say la fel de rece and la fel de reci. While the last one, cum se cade, which is kind or nice, will be la fel de cum se cade for masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. I hope that clarifies the comparative. If you got all the way here and you enjoyed this video or the way it was presented, make sure you help the Romanian Academy's YouTube channel with a like and a subscribe. It really helps a lot. All right, let's go back to the video. Cool. Now coming to superlatives, here we talk about the most. It's super. It's the most. It's superlative. This is what superlatives are, describing the most, or you might have guessed it already, the least. So to start with this, let's give an example here what they are in a sentence in Romanian. Stuff like, let's come back to Mihai and Elena. Mihai este cel mai înalt din clasă, for example. So Mihai is the tallest in the class, and Elena este cea mai inteligentă din clasă. You wouldn't say that to kids because that will create competition, but anyways, so Elena is the most intelligent in the class. You might see one very interesting thing here, that din is in English, right? From the class. But in English you don't say from the class. Cool. Can you go away? Yes, there you go. So superlative is you find in both sentences a superlative. We have a look first at the adjectives, înalt, inteligentă, and now the superlative is cel mai or cea mai. Those are not the only two options. There are two more. And the reason there are two more, it's, as I mentioned earlier, they agree with the noun. Yeah, cel is for Mihai, masculine singular. Cea is for Elena, feminine singular. This can also be, this superlative can also be to describe the least. Here on the left we have the most, and then on the right you'll have the least. So Mihai este cel mai puțin bun la matematică. So Mihai is the, it's another way to say the worst, right? Mihai is the least good at maths. And then, for example, Elena este cea mai puțin rapidă la sport. So that would be Elena is the least fast, so the slowest, right? In sport or at sports, but la sport is, I mean it in the academic subject, physical education, right? So in the sports class, whatever, in sports, doesn't really matter. This doesn't have to be true, right? So here, here we have Mihai este, again, we have the adjective, bun, rapidă, because Elena, right? And then cel mai puțin, cea mai puțin. The superlative for, in Romanian you call it inferiority. I'm not gonna talk too much about those words. It's important to get the message across, right? So this is superlative in Romanian. Now, the thing is, compared to English, not only that you have short and long, but you also have this cel. So you not only have the short and long adjectives, which was a problem from earlier on. So the tallest. Let's take it from the other one. The worst, yeah, and the most intelligent. This in Romanian will be the same principle. Will not, you'll not depend on the length, right? So you'll be cel mai rău, and this will be cel mai inteligent. Now, in addition to this CELE will change. So, if you have Mihai, we've seen we have CELE. If you have Elena, you have CEA. If you have, for example, students, which is masculine, plural, you will have CEI. And if you have, I don't know, cats, which is a feminine plural, you have CELE. So this is an I, in case you're confused. CEL, CEA, CEI, CELE. This depends on the gender of the noun. So actually, I wanna take a noun that changes and has a feminine form as well. So, for example, a profession or a family member. But let's take a profession this time. So, cel mai bun. Let's take bun because it's an easy one. Este sportivul. Yeah, that's masculine. Cea mai bună este sportiva. So what I did here, I just put it the other way around. Yeah, the best is the sportsman. The best is the sportswoman. Cei mai buni sunt sportivi. The best are the sports people. Cele mai bune sunt sportivele. So if you're talking about a group of ladies who are sportswomen, this would apply for the last one. And this is the comparison with English and what it's a bit trickier. Yeah. So careful with this cel, cea, cei, cele. You need to bear in mind and practice as much as you can thinking about the noun. So this is exactly what the agreement with the nouns is basically this. So sportivul is cel. You can actually look at the end if it's a definite article. You can spot it from a mile and know that with cel, because also it ends in L. That's another pattern that you might want to know. Sportiva with A, sportivi with I, sportivele with le. This is a very useful trick to know when you do the agreement with nouns for superlatives. Whether you're talking about cel mai or cel mai puțin, the most or the least, yeah? Doesn't really matter. Good stuff. Now we can try to do the same examples from the last one. So if we want quiet to put it into superlative, it would be cel mai liniștit. You can give this a go, by the way, if you want, before I write all the answers. So cel mai liniștit, cea mai liniștită, cei mai liniștiți, cele mai liniștite. Let's make it like this. Yeah, you can see how it goes. L with a consonant here for adjectives, A with an A usually, I with an I, E or le with an E. So there are patterns here as well. This is not completely random, like nouns, for example. Grijuliu, let's take cel mai puțin, cel mai puțin grijuliu. Cea mai puțin, puțin doesn't change. Careful with this one as well, because I've seen puțină, cea mai puțină grijulie. No, puțin doesn't change. So cea mai puțin grijulie. Și cei or cele, because this one has only 3, mai puțin grijuli. Then we have cel mai rece. Actually, this can be cel or cea because it has only 2 forms. Cel or cea mai rece. Cei or cele mai reci. And here we will get cel or cha or cei, not chai, or cele mai cum se cade. These are basically all the possibilities with the superlatives. Obviously, you can put cel mai or cel mai puțin, regardless of the adjective. But this is all the possibilities with the superlative. Now, very briefly, I want to cover adjectives without comparison. I have a whole list here. Those are quite logical, in my opinion, and in the Romanian opinion as well. Those are things that, as you can see, they cannot really be compared, because you cannot be more complete than something else, or you cannot be more dead than something else, as you cannot be more or less perfect than something else. Those things just don't exist in Romanian, and maybe that's something, if you think they should exist, maybe you should think about it a bit more, or more alive, or more superior, or less final, right? So this is a list, if you want to save it for future reference, of things that you cannot compare, neither comparison or comparison for comparative or superlative. They cannot be the most, for example, the most enormous, right? Or anything like that. More unique or the most unique. That's something that I think is quite overused in English, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a list of that. Now, as a quick recap, we talked about the adjectives, the comparatives, the more than or the less than, or as something as. We gave some examples. Then with superlatives, we saw how varied this topic really can be with Romanian, given the cel, cha, cei, cele. This is red zone, I would say. And there will be exercises very soon about this on Patreon. I would really recommend you to join there, because we already have listening activities, reading activities, grammar activities. We have a list of the most popular 50 verbs in Romanian, with infinitive, with the conjugation, with the participle as well. And soon we'll have some practice sheets with the adjectives in superlatives and comparatives. And finally, we got to this really weird list of things that you cannot compare. Next, I will give you some exercises which you should practice whenever you have time, if you want. And the answers, as I mentioned already, will be available next week, probably on Discord. And also, don't forget about the conversation about this video coming tomorrow. All right, that was it. I hope this video clarified a thing or two, and it will come handy in the future. Whenever you have confusions about how to use mai, cel mai, cele mai, la fel de, and so on. There are a few words that I specifically did not talk about in this video, because they are adverbs, such as foarte, destul de, prea, suficient de, and the such. But worry not, they will be covered in a following episode in season 4. Don't forget that every single season has its own playlist for easy access to its videos.